Through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit and deep encounters with God, Bishop Okudili and Pastor Ifoma Eze have written and published over 70 live transforming books. Succeeding in Marriage After the Wedding, Treasures in a Trash, All You Need to Succeed in Marriage, Preparing for Your Season of Demand, Building a Marriage That Will Stand the Test of Time, and many more. If you're in Nigeria, you can get these at Zion Heritage and Miracle Ministries branches. For further inquiries, call 0809-178-7299 or 0805-716-1060. Remain lifted for life.
Welcome to Checkpoint. I'm glad to have you today. Thank you for all that you do for us at Checkpoint. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, and subscribing on our YouTube channel. For all of these things you do, our messages are reaching a wider audience, and for that, we are indeed very grateful. Thank you, and thank you once again. Now today on Checkpoint, we have a very interesting topic we'd like to share with you, and I know you are already excited about that. So what do you do for me? Go get your friends, go get your relatives, your associates, your neighbors. Tell them it is Checkpoint time and they should come, they should gather together, they should come together so they can watch online. Now, please share the link at this moment so that they can benefit from this program, and I am sure they'll be very, very blessed. So we'll be introducing the topic right about now. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back to Checkpoint. Today on Checkpoint, we have a very interesting topic that will be a blessing to you. Today on Checkpoint, I want to share with you a very simple topic that I titled 10 kinds of persons you shouldn't marry. 10 kinds of persons that you shouldn't marry. Oh well, somebody might be saying, who is she to tell me who I should marry or who I shouldn't marry? Now these are time-tested results, time-tested answers that would help you, because experience cannot be bought in the market. Okay, there is no shop, no fancy shop, no supermarket where they sell experience, but experience is something that is gotten over time. Now this is a product of experiences that people have had and reasons why you should not marry this kind of persons I'm about to share with you. So get ready, get your notepads, get your iPads, get ready to type, to mark, to comment on this session, because I will be looking forward to hearing from you. Now today on Checkpoint, we're looking at 10 kinds of persons that you should never marry, that you should not marry at all. Now, while there are people you should never marry, you should not marry, there are also people that you should marry. In my other videos, I've been able to share a little on the kind of qualities you should look out for, on the kind of things you should look out for when you want to marry. In fact, I have a particular video on Checkpoint, and the title is How to Know Who You Will Marry. I'd like you to watch out for that video. All right, so we'll be posting the link of this video. We'll post a link of that very video I just mentioned in the comment section. So please look out for it and listen to it and watch it after now. Okay, are you ready? Yeah, I'd like to share with you the 10 kinds of people you should never ever marry. You might be a young person, a young male or a young female, and you're considering marriage, and that's a beautiful thing. That is very, very beautiful. I'm as well very excited about the decision you're about to take. But then you have to make sure that you are marrying the person who is right for you, the person who is needed for you. Not everybody is compatible with you. Not everyone is adaptable to you. Have you seen that sometimes when we want to plug in a particular device into the socket in the wall, sometimes because maybe the socket on the wall is a round hole, and because it's a round hole, you have a squared pin, you may not be able to fit this squared pin into the round hole. You will need what we call an adapter. All right, so you have to look for an adapter. An adapter is a device that has the kind of holes that you need, and then also has the kind of pin that will be able to fit into where you want to put it in. So it's important that you find someone who is adaptable to you. When God looked down from heaven and he saw Adam alone, he said, "It is not good that man should be alone, but I will make him a help meet for him, a help suitable for him, a help adaptable for him." Because every help is no help, right? Every help is no help. There are helps that will come your way and they will frustrate you, they will make things difficult for you, they will make things harder for you. But then there is help that when it comes to your life, it smoothens it right. It makes things beautiful for you. It makes things better for you. So I'll be sharing quickly 10 kinds of people that you should not marry. Yes, you that I'm watching right now, you should not marry those kind of people. All right, so number 1 on that list is a person who does not love God. A person who does not love God. You may be wondering, why did I have to start with that point? It's not usually my pattern to start with this kind of point. Maybe I would have said this point as the last point, but I chose to say it as the first point because I would honestly tell you that it is one of the basic reasons, the primary reasons why my marriage is working smoothly. It's one of the reasons why my marriage with the bishop is working so well, because we both love God. You have to marry someone who loves God. If you marry someone who hates the things of God, who is always bored in church, always sleeping in church, always tired when it's church programs, you're going to have a whole lot of problems. Now, somebody might be watching, why did I have to put that? Yes, it is the point, and I'm unapologetic about it. I am telling you, you need somebody who loves God, somebody who is passionate for God, somebody who has the things of God in heart. If you marry someone who does not love God, somebody who does not love the things of God, because proof that someone loves God is that the person is able to obey God's commandments. If you marry someone who does not obey God's commandments, you will see the negative effect in so many things that you're doing. You'll see it in your career, in your business, in your life, in your marriage, in your health, in so many areas. So please, I want to encourage you, do marry someone who loves God, because it takes someone who loves God to love you. Let me say that again. It takes someone who loves God to love you. If he or she does not love God, they will not be able to love you well in that relationship. God is love and love is God. Whenever you see love, there is God behind it. And genuine love, the kind of love that God gives, the kind of love that only God gives, that love is rare to find. And that's what we call the agape kind of love. It is important that you know that there are several kinds of love: the storge, the eros kind of love, the filial kind of love. But when I talk about love, I'm talking about the agape kind of love, the God kind of love. And that is what you need in a spouse, somebody you want to get married to. If you marry somebody who is always bored and tired and upset when it's time to go to church, when it's time to do the things of God, you see yourself drawing back spiritually. And with that, every other thing will begin to happen negatively in your life. That is why you that you are watching me right now, you are the one I'm talking to, all right? You have to love God. You have to believe God. You have to look for someone who equally loves God, because when they love God, they can love you. When they love God, they can relate well with you. When they love God, they will treat you nicely. A man who loves God will not beat up his wife. A woman who loves God will not steal from her husband or put her husband under undue pressure. So there are different attributes there are different attributes that you will see in the person who really loves God. So I want to share with you that when you want to get married, please do marry somebody who loves God. And remember, my topic is 10 kinds of people you should never marry. So in this kind of topic, my number 1 still remains a person who doesn't love God. All right? Well taken. Number 2 kind of person that you shouldn't marry is someone who doesn't share same values with you. Someone who does not share same values with you. Now, I don't know what your values are. I don't know what your personal values are in life, all right? Maybe you believe in honesty, you believe in truthfulness, you believe in transparency, you believe in right living, you believe in contentment. There are several, 1,001 values out there. Some believe in hard work, some believe in being persistent and stuff like that. But you have to figure out, what are your values first and foremost? What are your own values? Because if you are saying that somebody does not have the same value with you, then you have to ask yourself in the first place, what are your own values? Because it is only when you are sure of what your values are, that's when you can say that someone does not have the same value or does not share the same kind of value with you. So what are your values? What do you value the most? What do you believe in? Do you value family? Do you value relationships? Do you value truthfulness? Do you have high regard and value for choices that you make for your life and your ministry and your destiny and your business and your career and your health? You have to make up your mind what truly are your values, because when you know your values, then you can know who is having the same value with you and who is not having the same value with you. Are you understanding? Yeah. So please, this is very, very key and very, very pertinent. Marry someone who shares the same value with you. And if you are listening and you're following the topic says 10 kinds of people you should never marry. So don't marry someone who does not share the same values with you. Maybe you believe in honesty, you believe in truthfulness, you believe in transparency, and this person is a persistent liar, is a consistent liar, right? Then it becomes a problem because both of you do not share the same values. Maybe you believe in family and this person believes in staying alone, leave family, don't talk to them, don't reach out to them. It's just you and I alone, you and I, everything is just you and I. Well, that person will make you to forget your family. And I would always say on this show that family is everything. You need your family around. I understand that sometimes family members can be very toxic. You can have family members who are not doing well, who are always toxic, always doing the wrong things, always being bitter and angry and spoiling things around you or giving you a lot of negativity. Please, from such kind of family members, distance yourself, but don't deny them help. Distance yourself. I spend all the time imbibing or swallowing up their negativity. You don't need that negativity in your life. But then don't forsake them when they need help. Don't deny them when they need your help. But make sure that you're not allowing that environmental negativity to destroy your life. So this is very key and very, very pertinent. So it's important that you marry someone who shares the same values with you. Figure out for yourself, what are my values first and foremost. That way you'll be able to know what his values are and what her values are. All right, do you understand that perfectly? Good. Let's talk about number 3 kind of person that you should never marry. Number 3 kind of person that you should never marry is don't marry an addict with intentions to make him or her better. Let me say that again. Don't marry an addict with intentions to make him or her better. There are addicts everywhere, and as a matter of fact, there are different kinds of addicts. Some are alcoholic addicts, some are drug addicts, and different kinds of addicts. All right. When you marry an addict, that person is already committed to a particular thing. That person really has no control over a particular thing or act. So it's important that you ask yourself, what am I up to? What do I want in my relationship? What do I want in my life? What do I want in my marriage? And if you're able to answer this question, then and only then will you be able to separate yourself from that addict. So if you have an addict in your life, an alcoholic addict, a drug addict, or any kind of thing anybody's addicted to, you have to tell yourself first and foremost, why do I think I can make him or her better? Because ultimately, you cannot make anyone better who does not want to be better. Let me say that again. You cannot make anyone better who does not want to be better. You cannot have better intentions for anyone more than the intentions that they do have for themselves. So if they have a destructive intention for themselves, you cannot really change it. You can only talk and shout, and at the end of the day, you will not get through to them. So I want to tell you today that one of the persons that you should not marry is someone who is an addict, and you should not marry the person with intentions to do what? To make him or her better. If the person is an alcoholic addict or a drug addict, such a person should go for treatment. Such a person should go for help, seek help, professional help, psychological help, all right, psychiatric help, and then get themselves help back on their feet. Because when you want to marry, you have to marry a whole person, someone who is whole and complete in himself or herself, that's the kind of person you should get married to. If not, you get married to somebody that you'll always be frustrated about, you'll always be angry about, because you are expecting the person to change and the person is not changing at your frequency. Because in all honesty, people don't change at the frequency you want them to change, and sometimes people don't even change at all because they are already who they are. So you have to tell yourself, what can I do? How can I help this person? Now zero it in your mind that what you can do is to help this person get better, but don't marry them. Let me say that again. Help the person seek help, help the person get better, but don't marry them with intentions of making them better. You will have a lot of unrealistic expectations in your marriage that will eventually frustrate a whole lot of things. So please don't marry someone who is an addict with intentions to make him or her better. Most times they fall back, they get back to that same addict or that same behavior, and they get stuck. I'm not saying that there are no addicts who have overcome what they are passing through. I'm not saying there are no alcohol addicts who eventually became better. I'm not saying there are no drug addicts who eventually became responsible citizens and adults. No, there are a lot of them, lots of them. But please don't marry or go into a relationship with that intention. It will be so frustrating, it will be so painful, because at the end of the day you discover that your intentions are not being met, the plans you have for the person is not working according to that plan. It will be very difficult to live with such a person, and in some cases if that relationship eventually gets scattered. So you don't want that for yourself. Okay, so number 4 person you should not marry if you're looking for someone to marry is someone who does not believe in you and is not willing to support you. Someone who does not believe in you and does not want to support you. If you know that someone does not believe in what you carry, the career you're working towards, the vision you're working towards, the things that you're trying to do for yourself, and you are in a relationship with the person, what kind of frustrated life do you want to live? You need someone who believes in you, someone who trusts that the little thing you are doing today will eventually result into something powerful, will eventually result into something interesting. You need that kind of person in your life. You need that kind of person in your destiny. Please don't marry someone who does not believe in you, someone who does not believe in what you carry, who does not believe in your potential, someone who does not want to support you in any way. The person is not willing to impute any little help, any little idea, any little money, any little attitude in order to make sure that you succeed at what you are doing. You should marry a fan of yours, someone who believes that you can make it, someone who believes that you will survive, someone who believes that you are the best at what you do, even though you may not really be the best, but then you are working towards being the best. That is the kind of person you should look forward to being in a relationship with. All right, so please look for someone who believes in you. There are a lot of people who are around you now who don't believe in what you're doing. All right, they look down on your dream, they cast down your dream, they tell you that what you're doing, you're wasting time, you're not going anywhere. Those kind of people who downplay your words, they downplay your capacity, they downplay your abilities. Those kind of people are people you should never ever marry, because it is key that you marry someone who believes in you. Because in reality, a time comes in life when you are so burdened, when you are so worried with the issues of life, with the pressures all around you, and then you come to that point, that very point where you only need the person that's close to you to tell you you can make it, you will achieve, you will get there. It can be a life-changing moment, all right? It can be a period that you become aware of what you carry and that you become aware of the possibilities of making it in life. You need someone who can tell you, I believe in you and I'm willing to do anything to make you succeed. So many people have people around them. Maybe they could have a multitude, they could have a lot of family members, but then in reality, they don't have people who are willing to pay any price to see them succeed, to give them that push. You know, there is a time when you know that what you need is just a little push, an initial push to become all that you want to be. Now that will be the time to make sure that the person beside you, the person you want to marry, is that kind of person that can give you the needed push, the necessary push to become all that you are meant to be. So today, if you're in a relationship and there is somebody beside you who does not believe in you, who belittles the little effort you make, who looks down at the little things that you are doing today, please, that person is not right for you. So in case you are here, you are trying to figure out or answer the question whether this person is even right for you, this is my answer. You have just gotten the answer that you truly need. And that answer is that you should make a move, you should take your stand and look for someone who truly believes in you. Is that well taken? All right, so let me know in the comment section the portion of this message that you love the most. Let me know in the comment section the part that is blessing you the most, the point that is blessing you the most. And do comment in the section so that I know that you are following, and I will be there to reply every single comment. All right, so number 5 person that you should not marry. Remember, I'm talking about 10 kinds of people you shouldn't marry. All right, so number 5 person you shouldn't marry is someone who is very inconsistent with the truth. Someone who is very inconsistent with the truth. There are people who find it very difficult to say the truth. As a matter of fact, if they don't twist the truth and turn it into a lie, they don't feel comfortable. They don't feel like they are okay, all right? So they have to add their own spices, their own oil, their own ginger to the truth to just make sure that it is no longer the truth. I want to encourage you. You need what is right for your life. You need someone who is able to tell you the truth, irrespective of how the problem is, irrespective of how the challenge is. I know that there are sometimes people say, oh, I am trying to protect you from the truth. I am trying to hide the truth from you for your own good and stuff like that. But please, it is key that you make sure that the person you are going to spend the rest of your life with is somebody who is consistent with the truth. The truth is not difficult, it's not complicated to say, and I don't know why many people find it difficult to just say the truth as it is. So they begin to twist it until the truth is out of shape and it does not look like the truth anymore. I want to encourage you this moment that you should learn how to speak the truth. You yourself, learn how to speak the truth before you can even start looking for somebody who is very consistent with the truth. There are people that when they say good morning, you practically have to look at your wristwatch and say, oh wait, is it morning? Let me check. Let me be sure that this is actually morning. There are people that when they tell you good afternoon, you have to go outside and look. Peradventure, it's already dark. The truth is so difficult for them to say. People tell you they are coming, and when you go and check, the person is nowhere to be found. That is one person you should run from. You may be thinking, oh, this is not a serious matter. It's not really a serious issue, but listen to me. Somebody who will not tell you the truth will lie about many things. Have you seen people when they have misunderstandings in relationship, and then somebody says, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you the truth? The first utterance that usually comes out from the mouth of the other person is, does it mean you have been lying about everything? Does it mean that everything we have had is a lie? So you see, when you are inconsistent with the truth, every other truth you have spoken, it comes into question. Every other truth you have spoken looks like a lie. So the person begins to ask, which of these things that you have told me, which of them are really the truth? Because it seems like I'm confused about which one is your truth and which one is a lie. That is why you make sure, don't get married to somebody who is always lying, okay? The person says, I love you, but the person does not love you. I need you, the person does not need you. I'm coming for you, the person does not come for you. I'll give you this, and the person changes his mind at every single minute, and they ask the person, say, I changed my mind. If you say a word, you should be able to keep to it. Your word should be your bond. Your word should be bankable. When you say a word, you mean it. Don't say what you don't mean, all right? That's why I always encourage people to say what they mean and mean what they say. Can we say it together in the comment section? Say what you mean and mean what you say. Yes, I want to see you write it now in the comment section. Type it. I can see it right now. Type it in the comment section and tell me what. Yes, I can hear you. I can see what you are writing. So type it in the comment section. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That's right. Because it's important that you marry somebody who is very, very consistent with the truth, and you avoid anyone who is inconsistent with the truth. All right, so let's talk about number 6. Yeah, so I hope you've been following so far. So we talked about the 10 kinds of people that you shouldn't marry. Number 1, we talked about don't marry a person who doesn't love God. We said number 2, don't marry a person who doesn't share same values with you. We said number 3, don't marry an addict with intentions to make him or her better. We said number 4, don't marry a person who doesn't believe in you or in what or wants to support you. All right, don't marry somebody who does not believe you or or who doesn't want to support what you are doing. And we said number 5, that you should not marry somebody who is inconsistent with the truth. So number 6 point I'd like to share with you is this: don't marry somebody who disrespects others a lot. Let me say that again. Don't marry somebody who disrespects others a lot. Now you might be saying, oh, that does not concern me, oh, that's not my business, how he or she treats people does not matter to me. But listen to me, it matters a lot, because how he or she treats others is an indication of how he or she will treat you. If he or she disrespects others, oh, eventually the disrespect will go around. If he or she is always wicked to others, very soon the wickedness will go around and it will reach your turn. Maybe because you are just in a relationship with him or her at the early seasons, that's why you've not noticed it. But very soon, by the time you are committed, you will eventually get your own portion, because this person is a wicked person, is an annoying person, is a very disrespectful person, moving around, looking for who disperse disrespect to, looking for who to insult at every little point. If you marry someone who is always gossiping about others, very soon you will be his or her next gossip point. So that is why you cannot marry someone who disrespects others around you. A particular couple went out on a date sometime, and then as they went out on a date, this lady has always believed that the guy treats her so well, loves her so much, and is always doing everything and anything for her. So as they went out on a date and they were about to order for food, they had ordered for the food, and the food seemed to have delayed in coming. All of a sudden, this guy stood up and began to harass all the chefs in the restaurant. He began to harass the waiters, and he was angry. He barged into the kitchen, threw away some food on the ground, and he was angry that they were wasting his precious time and stuff like that. And someone asked the lady, how on earth are you going to marry somebody like this? He said, no, he loves me so much. It's just that these people are so naughty that he has to treat them exactly how they are treating him. Little did she know that in a few years down the lane, she would become his next victim. And true to it, she had a lot of terrible experiences that one day she packed her bags and she ran for her dear life. I want to tell you, if somebody who you're in a relationship with now is treating others disrespectfully, is an indication. Let me give another shade to this truth I'm telling you. Don't marry somebody who hates his mother. Don't marry somebody who hates his father. See, I know sometimes fathers and mothers can do a lot of wrong things to you. Sometimes they might make wrong decisions, and they will do eventually do something bad to you. And sometimes they didn't really set out to do something bad to you, because they were trying to do parenting the best way they knew. They eventually found themselves hurting you, not because they plan to hurt you. And you cannot live and make a decision to hate them for life. So sometimes they've made decisions, they made poor decisions that they're eventually paying for. They've made wrong decisions that are eventually affecting both their lives and yours. But then you have to forgive, because they're parents, all right? Sometimes nobody gave them, you have to understand that nobody gave them a manual for parenting. Nobody told them, this is the book. With this book you shall parent your children excellently. Somehow they made mistakes, they gambled at it, they winged it because they saw their grandparents do it, they saw their parents do it, and they learned the best way they can. Sometimes they didn't really mean to hurt you, but they eventually hurt you. But that is not the reason why you have to hate them through the rest of your life. So if you find somebody who hates his father or hates his mother so desperately, please find out, because you might be saying, oh, he doesn't hate me, he hates the father. She doesn't hate me, she hates her mother. But eventually, that hatred will pour out on you. It will rub off on you. The hatred will be poured on you, because there's what we call transferred aggression. And it will eventually rub off on you. So you don't want it, right? You don't want that kind of life. You don't want that kind of pain and hatred and rejection. So please don't marry someone who hates his father. Don't marry someone who hates her mother. Don't marry someone who hates others, who disrespects others. Because if you do, you will have a long, old, ugly, painful story to tell. And that will not be your portion, in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, let's talk about number 7. Number 7 kind of person that you shouldn't marry. That number 7 kind of person is someone who does not appreciate your effort, someone who does not appreciate your effort. While appreciating efforts can be sometimes overrated, it is important that you learn how to appreciate the efforts of somebody beside you. So you have to marry someone who appreciates your efforts. Sometimes we work hard, we struggle and persevere to get needs met, to meet up with targets, to do our jobs and stuff like that, but you need someone who truly appreciates what you are doing. So imagine a father who is working hard for his family. All right, he goes to work, the job is hard, he does that job with diligence, and then he makes more effort to be able to bring back home food for the family, bring back money to take care of needs in the family. When he's done with all of this, he comes back to a wife who is always nagging, always complaining, always angry about needs not met and stuff like that. That man will not live a happy life. That man will live a life that is full of misery and pain and frustration, and eventually you will see that the person is struggling over time. He gets wrinkled, gets too old for his age, and then eventually he begins to suffer, or even begin to want to stay away from the home, because there's a lot of pressure being a husband, a lot of pressure being a father in the home. Imagine a lady who is working out, she goes to work, she comes back from work, she makes food in the home, she takes care of the children. While she's being a successful career woman, she's also doing work well at home, and then the person she got married to is not appreciative of her effort, does not value the things that she does. It can be heartbroken, all right? And then what still, you begin to find people out there who are celebrating and appreciating what we are doing. It can break any home. So please, I want to encourage everyone out there who is listening to me right now, marry someone who appreciates your little efforts. Marry someone who is willing to celebrate your little wins, all right? Who is able to cheer you up, who is able to tell you, oh, well, you are doing well. You may not be doing it excellently, but then there is room for improvement. And that's the kind of person that you should hang around with. Don't waste your time with someone who does not appreciate the little things you do, all right? So you send a recharge card, no thank you. You send some money, no thank you. You make some effort to make something right, no thank you. All right, that's a problem. I always tell people that one of the languages that you should imbibe and use on a regular basis is the language I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please. Very simple. I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please. These magic words will help your life a lot. These magic words will help your relationship a lot. Look at that person who is it is so difficult for him or her to say, I appreciate you, I love you, please, thank you, I'm sorry. There'll be a lot of problem in that relationship. Okay, so please, this is very, very key. Marry someone who appreciates your effort. Don't look for somebody who does not appreciate your effort, who no matter how hard you work, no matter the sacrifices you make, they look at it and then downplay it. They make it look like it does not matter, and like it means nothing. That's not the kind of person you want to have a relationship with. All right, so number 8 kind of person that you should never marry is someone who has no one else he or she fears. Let me say this again and again and again. Don't marry somebody who has no one else he or she fears. Maybe you get into an argument and hear something like, me? No, I don't listen to anybody. I don't hear anybody. I do what I want to do. Fear that person. All right? You want to say, I'm going to report. Say, report me to who? Who can talk to me? Who will I listen to? Who is that person? What is that person? Where is that person? Please. The Bible says that pride goeth before a fall. And Igbo adage says something. The Igbo adage says that the dead that want to kill the housefly made it to follow the corpse to the grave. All right, the dead that want to kill the housefly made it follow the corpse to the grave. And that one adage says that the dead that wants to kill the dog will not allow it to perceive rightly. So please, if there is someone in your life, someone you're in a relationship with, and he or she has nobody that they fear, nobody you can report them to, it is a problem, a big problem. Because believe you me, a time will come when the person would maybe misbehave or do something that is not right, and you want someone else to talk to the person. And if that person does not have anybody who he or she regards, anybody who he or she respects, anybody who he or she fears, you are and that is on your own. So you don't want to be on your own in this journey called marriage. All right, so please, that is why You need to make sure that you marry somebody who has somebody they fear. Marry somebody who has somebody they respect. Marry someone who has somebody that they regard, okay? You should be able to tell your husband or your wife, I'll call this person for you, and the person will just the person will auto reset. The person will auto reset by default system. So please, this is very, very important. Anyone who has nobody they fear, anyone who has nobody they regard, anyone who has nobody they listen to is already a problem. So please make up your mind to marry somebody who has somebody they fear, and avoid marrying somebody who does not have anybody like that. Okay, number 9. Kind of person that you should never marry is someone who does not have control over his or her emotion. Someone who does not have control over his or her emotions. We are all filled with emotions. We all have emotions, all right? But then some people are able to control their emotions while others are not able to control their emotions. This is different for different folk. All right, for some people, they are able to control their emotions and take the right decision. But for some, they cannot control their emotion. They allow their emotion to take them wherever they feel like going. I want to advise everyone listening to me right now. Please don't allow your emotion to give you direction. Let me say it again. Don't allow your emotion to give you direction in life, because your emotions will never take you to a productive destiny. Your emotions will never take you to a place where you become relevant in the future. Your emotions would usually take you to a road that leads to destruction. So please control your emotions. Sometimes you are too happy that you make a bad decision. Sometimes you are too sad that you make a bad decision. Sometimes you are too worried that you make a bad decision. Sometimes you are too much pressure that you make a bad decision. You have to always make the right decision. Can I tell you that sometimes your emotions becloud your decisions? Your emotions, they becloud your ability to take the right decision. And you cannot allow your emotions to take control of you. This is what we call emotional hijack. When you are no longer in control of your emotions, you are no longer in control of what you are saying, you are not in control of what you are doing, you are not in control of how you are acting, it becomes a problem. That's why I said don't marry someone who does not have control over his or her emotion. Have you heard people say, oh, this was how I was born? In my family, we have a loud voice. When we are angry, we shout on anybody. Listen to me. Everyone can control their emotion. Everyone can control the way they talk to people. There are people that when you tell them, please stop talking to me like that, stop talking to me harshly, say, oh no, in our family, this was how we were born. My great-grandfather has a very loud voice. My grandfather has a loud voice. My father has a loud voice. Therefore, me, myself, I have a very loud voice. When we are angry, we shout on anybody. Very soon, you have yourself alone to shout on, because nobody wants to be shouted upon. So please, that is why you have to work on yourself. Control your emotions. There are people, when they are sad, they begin to think of death. Any little thing that happens, they begin to think, is it not better I die? Suicidal tendency, always melancholic in nature. There are people that their level of emotional control is so little. That's what we call emotional intelligence. Ability to control the emotions, ability to be aware of what you are feeling and know how what you are feeling affects others, ability to tune into other people's feelings and know how it affects them and why it makes them react the way they do. That is what emotional intelligence is all about. So please, I want to encourage you out there listening to me right now. As an emotional intelligent professional, I want to tell you, from one emotional intelligent professional to you out there, control your emotions. Don't allow your emotions to give you direction, because sometimes it's not leading to the right place. Okay, there are people who are always suicidal. Any little bad thing happens to them, something has happened to some other person, but for them, once it happens to them, they begin to think, oh, is it not better I die? And they begin to look for what to use to kill themselves time and time again. And then some people say it is mental health. I agree, it is mental health, but sometimes it is emotions not controlled that leads to that terrible mental health state. So please, whichever way it is, whether it be a mental health issue or whether it be a lack of ability to control emotions, let us try to work on our emotions. There are people that when they are so happy they can do anything, they are no longer in control of their feelings, in control of what they feel. They are happy. If one lady will say that whenever I'm happy, I just look for who to sleep with. What kind of lifestyle is that? That is not a way to live. So you cannot allow your emotions to direct what you do. There is your will, there is your intellect that is able to make decisions for you concerning the things that you want in your life and the things that you don't want in your life. So these are very, very key aspects and key things that you need to put in your life, things you need to fix in your life, because this life is not as long as it seems. People are dying every day, people are perishing every day, but you cannot allow your own emotions to destroy you. That's what we call self-destruct. You can't allow yourself to self-destruct. You destroy from within. You get destroyed from within. This one is not about your haters or your mockers or people outside. With lack of control on your emotions, with lack of control on your emotions, you self-destruct. So with lack of control on your emotions, you self-destruct, and that is not what you want. So please don't self-destruct, I beg you. Be in control of your emotions. Let yourself know what you are feeling part-time. Feel the right thing. Tell yourself, no, this is me. I am in control of my emotions. I know what I want from life. I know where I'm heading in life. Tell yourself some of these things and work on your emotions. Don't always give yourself everything that you want, everything that you need. Sometimes say no. Learn to say no. In fact, as a matter of fact, no is a complete sentence, okay? No. Learn to say no. Many of us, we find it so difficult to be assertive. Assertiveness is the ability to say what you want without making another person feel hurt. Let me say that again. Assertiveness is the ability to say what you want and without making the other person you are saying it to feel hurt. So when you want to say no without shouting, say no without being angry, all right? When you want to say yes, and be in control of what you are feeling part time. So one of the persons you should never marry is somebody who has no control over their emotions, all right? Okay, so let's take the final one, number 10, and the final one for today. The 10th person you should not marry is someone who is threatened over your success or breakthroughs. Don't marry someone who is threatened over your success or breakthrough. Can I tell you that there are people, real people, I'm serious when I tell you this, there are real people who that when you succeed, when something good happens to you, they get bitter. They get offended. What still? You get married to somebody like that. Like you have a testimony, you share good news, and the person is angry on your behalf. Listen to me. This person did not make the effort you make. This person did not work as hard as you worked. This person is not making as much effort and hard work as you're putting in, and the person is still angry that you are succeeding. Meanwhile, you are succeeding because you worked hard. You are succeeding because you put much effort. You are succeeding because you're able to do the work. That is the definition of witchcraft. Hear me, that's the definition of witchcraft. You should not have any human being around you like that. Whether they be family members, whether they be friends, whether they be neighbors, nobody around you should be angry over your success. If they think you're succeeding too much, they should not succeed their own too. If they think you're enjoying too much, they should not enjoy their own too. You cannot allow somebody to be angry over the success that you have. Do you know that in our lives, when people see us, they see the shiny part, okay? They see the part when you are posing for a picture, the part where you are smiling in the camera, and they assume that all is just perfect with you. But little do they know the kind of hard work, the kind of pressure that you are usually under. Little do they know the kind of persistence you apply, the kind of hard work you put in to make sure that you are where you are. But what do? They begin to look down on you, begin to get angry, begin to get pissed off because you are succeeding. Anyone who hates your success, anyone who hates your breakthrough, may they be disappointed for your sake in the name of Jesus. I decree and declare that God supernaturally will separate you from friends, relatives, associates, neighbors who hate your increase and who hate your success in the name of Jesus. You cannot be surrounded by people who hate your sweet stories, people who hate your testimonies, people who hate your success stories. No. You don't need such people in your life. That's why I'm telling you today, you should not marry somebody who is threatened by your success, who is threatened by your breakthrough. Because very soon, they will begin to look for ways to undermine you. They'll begin to look for ways to pull you down. They will even look for ways to connive with your enemies to bring you down. See what Judas did to Jesus, all right? They will connive with your enemies for money that you could have even given to them to bring you down because they don't want you to remain the boss. They don't want you to remain on top. They don't want you to be the one dishing instruction out to them. Can I tell you that there are people who are comfortable with your position now because you are begging them for money? because you're always begging them and asking them for money, borrowing money from them. They are comfortable with where you are. But believe you me, the moment you hammer, the moment you blow, the moment you get rich, the moment you get blessed, they'll become very, very flabbergasted and angry and upset because you are no longer in the level where they can pity you. There are people you call friends, and you still think they are your friends because you are still at the lower level. Let God help you and you succeed a little and you have a breakthrough and have a testimony and you become comfortable. They will begin to hate you. True life experience, they will begin to hate you. They will begin to get angry with you because you have succeeded. Anyone who is threatened at your success, anyone who is threatened at your breakthrough, please don't excuse that behavior. Don't excuse the behavior away. No. Don't do that to yourself. That is a witch and a wizard living around you, and you don't want such people in your life. So quickly, these are the few things I decided to share with you today on the 10 kinds of people you shouldn't marry. Can we run through them again? All right, so we said number 1, we said don't marry a person who doesn't love God. We said number 2, don't marry someone who does not share the same values with you. We said number 3, don't marry someone who is an addict and has with you having intentions to change the person and make the person better. We said number 4, don't marry a person who doesn't not believe in you and who doesn't want to support you in what you are doing. Now, we said number 5, don't marry someone who is inconsistent with the truth. We said number 6, don't marry someone who hates and disrespects others. We said number 7, don't marry someone who does not appreciate your efforts. We said number 8, don't marry someone a person who does not have anyone else he or she fears. We said number 9, don't marry someone who does not have control over his or her emotions. And we said number 10, don't marry someone who is threatened over your success and threatened over your breakthrough. I believe that with these few points of mine, you now know the kind of person you should marry. Invariably, you should marry someone who is not threatened about the success and breakthrough. You should marry someone who has control over his or her emotions. You should marry someone who has somebody he or she fears and regards and respects. You should marry someone who appreciates your efforts, appreciates the little things that you do, celebrates your little wins. That you should marry someone who also has respect for others, respect for family members, respect for friends, respect for other human beings, all right? We also said that you should marry someone who is very consistent with the truth. We said you should marry someone who believes in you and who is willing to support you in what you are doing. We also said that you should marry someone who is in control of their desires. All right, don't marry somebody who is out of control, who is already an addict. Marry someone who is in control of their desires, because you can't really make anyone better. We also said that you should marry someone who shares the same value with you, and we said most importantly, you should marry somebody who loves God, because if they love God, they'll be able to love you. If they love God, they'll be able to share that love with you. The Bible says that the love of God is shared abroad in our hearts. All right, because that love is shared abroad in our hearts, we can be able to love others and reach out to others. Now, until I come your way again, keep making a positive, indelible mark in the lives of people and on the sands of time. See you next time. Bye for now.
Through the inspiration of the Holy Spirit and deep encounters with God, Bishop Okudili and Pastor Ifeoma Eze have written and published over 70 live transforming books. Succeeding in Marriage After the Wedding, Treasures in a Trash, All You Need to Succeed in Marriage, Preparing for Your Season of Demand, Building a Marriage That Will Stand the Test of Time, and many more. If you're in Nigeria, you can get these at Zion Heritage and Miracle Ministries branches. For further inquiries, call 0809-178-7299 or 0805-716-1060. Remain lifted for life.